We're waiting. We're waiting.
Jack. One moment,
waiting.
folks.
Text Aunt Mimi. We're waiting. We're
Is it
waiting.
working
Yeah, we're on.
Voila!
All right.
Jeez, that took a long time, Junior.
I know.
You know why? Don't make Jack repeat it.
Hello, Patriots. Welcome to the United States Constitutional Group here on Facebook. And we're also at the Hawk Podcast. We're on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever. Check us out. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so the Hawk Podcast will now start at 7 p.m. every Thursday night. Will coincide with this United States Constitutional Group. Kind of get things together. He's Jack. Mm-hmm. I'm Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Got Mike and Junior right there in front of us. They're actually behind you.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great team here. Lots of laughs throughout the night. We've already had a few already. At Junior's expense.
Yep. It's crappy.
You want to be part of the show? Contact us on USCG Facebook group. Hey, if you don't like the text or, right on Facebook, 843-315-5273, and I'll answer you. Right there. We'd love to hear from you. So let's get right into it. Jack, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start off because Mike's got a pretty good topic that I am, my personal feelings is more important than what I'm going to say. Mine's important for nationwide. And then you have some uplifting for change. We've been kind of down, browbeating everybody for a while because
there's a lot of shit happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad things happening. So I'll get into mine. Mine is, I'm going to ask you guys, how do you think, now we know that the government's trying to take your rights away. That's what government does. That's why the Constitution and the Bill of Rights was written, to keep government out of your life. But they're intruding on us. They're taking these rights away. How do you think that they're going to bring it through the finish line? How are they going to kind of get it through the finish line and be like, meh, we got everything. Screw you. You're screwed.
Fear.
You think it's just fear? Just that simple?
Well, it's worked so far two times since I've been around.
What 2 times?
9/11 and COVID.
Okay. 9/11 was an inside job.
Well, I'm just saying they took rights away.
No, they didn't take rights away then. They took.
No, they took
They
rights
spied
away.
on you.
Yeah.
Right.
They
Yes.
spy.
No.
Yeah, they opened up that whatever it was act.
They spied on American people. I was wrong. Well, they know they can't do it through the people. The citizens of America aren't going to put up with the shit. A lot of people pushing back right now.
Yes, they are.
A lot of people saying no more. So I figured the only way that these people can get anything through is start with local and state politics.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was watching, and that was my philosophy of it. The whole thing with New Mexico, that governor, that maniac, suppressing. But now, I get it. It was the guns, right? She's going to suspend your Second Amendment rights. If you own them or not, you're not allowed to have them, blah, blah, blah. 100% wrong. But what was the scariest part, and me and Dennis we've been going over this since we started this podcast, was the way she was saying it. Well, it's an emergency.
Yep.
We have to suspend your constitutional rights because of an emergency. Same thing happened to Germany. That's how Hitler got into power. Germany had gotten, their economy was so bad and things were going so wrong for them that they suspended their constitution, which allowed Hitler to come into power. And, you're watching this, the governor of New York is taking away your gas stoves. I mean, it's ridiculous.
With stoves.
She's even trying to kick out migrants.
Yeah, now she doesn't even want migrants. So, California doing what they're doing, Washington legalizing drugs. Now, you think about it, all of those states that are legal, even just the marijuana,
It's every
that's going against the Constitution because it's illegal, so they're not paying federal tax on it. because how can you pay federal tax on something that's illegal? You can't. So it's a cash business. It's staying out of the government hands because it's against the Constitution. And Seattle went all the way and legalized drugs. I mean, New York is trying to do this. I mean, they have those machines for the crack.
The crack bottles.
Well, we all know that the government wants population control.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why not legalize these drugs and let people kill themselves?
Well, here's the reason why I think they're going through the states. Because little by little, now they did it like Mike said. September 11th was the big one. COVID was the biggest, and they couldn't believe how easy the American people rolled over. They just rolled over and was like, yeah, scratch my belly, make me feel better. And they were like, whoa, we're onto something here, folks. Fear is our ticket. So, and crisis is our excuse to suspend the Constitution. So I think they're going into these liberal states, and I think what this New Mexico governor, I think you're going to start seeing it more and more relevant in these real super blue states.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they're trying it out on these states to see how far they can go, who's going to be willing to, and they're finding who their problem is, and they're going to sand them right down. Just sort of like what they're doing to Trump, just kill these guys in court, break the law to enforce the law. And I think as you start getting these layers of more and more people accepting, losing those more and more, now you can do it on the grand scale of it and take it away nationwide. And people are going to be like, well, I mean, it's been going on for 5-10 years over at this state.
Yeah.
And this state.
I think that the United States of America is ready for a state's divorce. These Republican states don't want to deal with the Democratic crap. The Democratic states don't want to deal with the Republicans. So I think we're on our way to a huge breakup. It's going to tear apart our country.
I hope not.
Well, here's the problem. I hope not.
I hope not either, Mike, but we see
the
that every day.
The problem is these idiots in Washington, D.C. aren't smart enough. I mean, the United States Senate has a senator in there that doesn't know how to tie his goddamn shoes. So what do?
They suspend the dress code.
They get rid of the dress code so this idiot can come in his slippers.
It's ridiculous.
So this is the way the United States government operates. They literally don't have the mental capacity to solve this problem. We have voted the people in office right now that do not have the capability of taking this country and bringing it back to where it's supposed to be through the Constitution.
They don't have the courage to do it.
I don't think they want to do it.
They're all yellow.
They got what they want. I got money, I got power, and these people that I work for are a nuisance.
I mean, look at what the Republican Party's doing right now. They can't come up with 12 issues to cut the budget so they can keep the government open. 12.
Yeah.
12 simple, little, small, and put them together and make it one bill and get it. They cannot do it. Cannot do it. Can't do it. I mean,
it's scary stuff.
And the world is on the brink of World War III. China's literally building a military base in Cuba. Hello, does that sound familiar? I think history repeats itself on that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
we had nobody brave enough to.
And we've been saying it for years that they're down in Latin America doing army drills.
Yeah.
I mean, they're flying over Taiwan. They're sending balloons over the United States. I don't know. It's a conspiracy, but you know what? The government's not saying what happened to that plane, and that pilot jumped out because it was not working.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't find it.
I'm talking about taking our rights away, in the Constitution. Governor Abbott in Texas today declared an invasion for these migrants.
Yeah.
Geez, how long ago did we say that?
I was going to say that. He's slow, way too late. He should have done it when it first came out. These politicians have failed us. Every freaking day they fail us.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, it's a crisis for him. It was a crisis 3 years ago, it was a crisis 6 years ago. It was a crisis 10 years ago.
It's a crisis for this country. not even the states.
No.
It's gone across the country.
But
Well, I'm
that's
glad
what
he
we
declared-
were saying that it's literally in their constitution. We took the Constitution off of our website and read it. It's right there, not deep inside their state constitution.
Right on the front.
pretty
Right in their
close to the
state
beginning.
constitution, they have the right to make their citizens safe, to
Right.
keep their citizens safe. They should have declared
From
this.
invasion until the federal government is able to respond.
Yeah.
And since the federal government's never going to respond, they have the right to do whatever they can, whatever they need to do. Just start
Deputize
push the border back 100
civil-
miles if
civilians
you have
in
to.
Texas.
Listen,
Push the border back a mile if you have to.
Yeah.
the Constitution says there that the United States government is to protect every state to have a republic-type government, and this administration is not doing that in Texas, not doing it in any of the states,
New Mexico.
but especially in Texas. So his Constitution has it there that he can do this until they can respond. Well, you should have been doing this 3 years ago when we said it.
Yeah, because the federal government is doing this against court orders.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
You know, there was
Read-
another president that
Read
used to
your
go.
state constitution.
There was another president that used to go against the Constitution quite often. Teddy Roosevelt. He said the Supreme Court is not really. It's more like what the people feel, and he was right. You know, the Supreme Court is not ruling by the Constitution. They're kind of ruling by what's the temperature out there. You know?
Popularity contest.
Yeah.
I'm
So.
not a fan of the Supreme Court right now.
Mm-mm.
I'm not a fan of every part of this government. All three branches have let us down.
I agree.
Right now, definitely the executive. For years, the Congress, the ones who make the laws. I haven't remembered the last law they ever made, the legislation. And the even court system right now.
It was
is a
Obamacare, 3,000 something pages long, and they didn't know what was in the bill until they passed the bill.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
crazy is that?
Which in the Constitution it also says that these bills are supposed to be simple and understand.
yeah. So
Short
they
to the
all
point.
let us down, and you gotta wonder, somebody behind all this.
Yeah, it's the one world order. George Soros and his fellas,
Well,
that German guy that hosts that every year.
well, if you remember a few podcasts ago, I said that they have to get the United States down and level with everybody else before they can make a world order. And I think not only are we equal with everybody else right now, but we're below some of them.
I
I
tell
don't know
you,
if we're below.
You don't think so?
I don't think we're below anyone. We just lost our stature in America, in the world.
Yeah, but even the military now, I have a feeling, like Jack was saying, he didn't come right out and say, but I think there's been a couple of times now where things have happened where I think China knows how to, and Russia, know how to break into our computers.
Well, I'm sure every country knows.
well,
how
they've
to
been
do it
doing
for
that,
years.
but we had the patches to get in it. This is a war behind the war that nobody sees.
Yeah.
But I tell you what,
we still have the best
Biden did
military.
that UN and agreed with China.
Right?
We're going to help China. First off, he spoke to an empty hall. Nobody was there to listen to the United States.
Yeah.
And it was all climate control. All of these other wars that are going on around the world are nothing. To the point where even Zelensky had to say, listen, if you help us out, it can help global warming. So, I mean, he did not put the screws to China over anything.
Yep.
That balloon, coal, nothing. They are friends of ours, and we're going to compete with them. The fact that they're putting a military base in Cuba, 90 miles from Florida, doesn't say nothing about that.
Yeah.
You know,
He's bought and paid for by China.
oh yeah.
And you're talking about our defenses equal with everyone else. They want that to be run by batteries, tanks, planes, ships, whatever. How strong of a military is that now?
We have the strongest military in the world still.
Yeah, we do until it goes to electric.
Yeah, but we don't have a military that's strong enough to handle China, Russia, and Iran.
We don't have the leadership to handle
You
that.
know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a disaster waiting to happen. And if you don't think those people are talking,
They're talking, but you know,
They're not ready yet, but
hopefully we get a change. Anyway, that's my just everybody out there, ask that to yourself, because if you start asking yourself these questions, you might start realizing things, and you might be able to get out there, and we might be able to head this off at the path before it's too late. Now Mike's up, and Mike's got I think that Mike's got some good points to do. He's got his own subject today.
yeah, it's not any good news neither. All right, the Freedom of Information Act came out about Fauci, and it says that Fauci and his wife, Dr. Christine Grody, had a net worth of exceeding $11 million in 2022, up from $7.6 million in 2019. He became rich while regular Americans were becoming poor. Now we got this Governor Kathy Hochul in New York wants babies of 6 months old to get new COVID vaccines. Now, mind you, other countries around the world don't even give this vaccine to anyone under 50, except for America.
Under 50?
Under 50. They don't want anyone under 50 having these COVID shots.
Because I think Australia had, because they wouldn't let that tennis player in because he wouldn't take that shot, right?
I don't remember that.
Australia might be as crazy as we are, Mike.
Yeah. So 6 months, this woman wants babies of 6 months old to get the new vaccine shot. Now this is the same woman who bragged, and I quote, "I'm proud to announce that New York will create a stockpile of misoprostol. I think I'm saying misoprostol. It's another form of medication abortion." She said this during an interview with Planned Parenthood conference, which I believe should be called Planned Unparenthood.
Hold on. You got something, Jack?
Pat says the Chinese have been buying up farmlands. They are controlling a lot of the food.
Yeah,
But a lot of states are starting to limit that, buying
Yeah,
the
thank goodness.
land. So there are some states out there that are stepping up.
South Dakota. Boom,
South
off the top of my
Carolina,
head.
Florida. There's a few of us out there that
The
are.
disturbing part is that they're buying a lot of this land by our military bases.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mike, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so she's stockpiling this abortion medication. This is the woman that's saying to everyone in New York, I believe, that we should give 6-month-old children shots. What do I say? I say governments, because it's more than our government, it's all around the world. Please leave our children alone. Then there's another news thing. Should schools hide a child's gender confusion from their parents?
Right.
The Toronto Star says, and I quote, "It's a privilege, not a right, to know your kid's gender identity."
That's Toronto.
Toronto. Gender changing is killing children. Much higher suicide rates than normal. And these procedures are irreversible once they get it. California parents could lose custody if they don't affirm child gender identity. Now, right now, this is for divorced parents. You know, parents that get divorced. But that won't be for long. If people don't start saying things,
Didn't Washington State pass that law?
it's going to keep on growing and going and going.
I think Washington State, I'm not sure if the law passed, but it was in their house saying that if there's a child in school that wants to change their gender and they're afraid of their parents, the school could take that child without even telling the parents and have that surgery done on them. And the parent never know.
This one passed. This is a law in California, and divorced parents, if one of them doesn't agree, he can lose or she can lose custody of that child. And you know it's going to go further up. It's going to get worse. It's going to be, we could take this child away from parents.
Who threw their garbage in my cup of water?
I don't know.
Junior?
Jack.
Not me, no. It's not me.
I got the proof here on camera.
Not me.
We'll find out who it was.
Yeah,
We'll get the detective.
we're gonna rewind that.
Wilson,
right
we're
now.
coming for you. We need a detective.
All right, Mike, go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you twice.
So, it's for divorced parents in California right now, but if we don't stop it, it's going to go to the next level, where married, happy couples could lose their child, custody of their child, like you were saying in Washington.
I don't know if it got passed or not, but I know.
This is Romans 1:28. We're living in it right now, and that is, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. In other words, you don't want me? You want to do what you want to do? Get ahead. I'm out. That's what that is. And that's the life, the age we're living in right now. Governments, please leave our children alone. 3 times we have been told in the Bible that the 10 Commandments do not have any human source. The 10 Commandments that the American government forbids to be posted in our courtrooms and especially in our public schools, the 10 Commandments were written by the creator of every man, woman, and child in this country. This government has become wicked. There is other wicked governments around the world, but this country and this government began with God. The only other country that began with God is Israel, and it never removed the 10 Commandments from anywhere. Not like we did. Please, governments, please leave our children alone. Please, people, start reading your Bible as a family, or you're going to lose it.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, this government has been working on breaking the family up since I've been born. And that's unfortunate. There's a lot of crises that are caused by not both parents being in the place, someone being incarcerated, whatever it is. And, this government has rewarded that through welfare and social programs to entice more children into those nuclears of non-family.
Well, Jack, I'm not sure if this is true. I'm going to ask you because you've got a lot of history behind you. But Stalin, the Russian Stalin, he tried to get rid of the family by putting the children in charge of the family. And it backfired on him because the whole country went crazy and because the children took over. And but it didn't work. But you got to wonder if somebody else, how history repeats itself, you got to wonder if someone's thinking this might be a good idea. Well, put the kids in charge. Like, they could change their gender without allowing the parents to have any say in it. That's putting the child in charge of the family when you do something like that.
Well, you remember one of Biden's speeches when you could understand him? He said the government owns your children.
Yeah, they're not your children.
They're not your
ours.
children, they're our children.
And I'm sorry to bring this up. I just thought it was very important because I know that's more depressing news. And then, if anyone says this isn't happening, I don't know where they're living.
No, Biden said it on TV like
He
that.
said it.
It's not your kid, it's ours.
The government owns our kids from cradle to grave.
Mm-hmm.
Owns your kids. I'll tell you what, if that happened when we were younger, I don't know what my parents would have done.
We were talking to my dad the other day on his balcony, and he said, if this was going on when you guys were younger, I'd be in jail.
Yep.
He goes, because this is not going to happen.
Yeah. I really hope that people start reading their Bibles with their families. Because that's another way of finding out the rights you're losing.
Well, I tell you what, history does repeat itself, and I think that's part of the problem is that half of the people running this government believe in governments like China, the communists. And, we had said it before too, when they were having those last days of World War II and the 3 superpowers, Russia, England, and the United States were meeting in Russia. Churchill could not understand why FDR was going along with what's his name was saying, and he's like, "Why are you listening to this? He's not that bad."
Not that bad. He killed 10 million people.
I mean, and they bugged his room, and they knew about the atomic bomb before. FDR didn't think that they knew about the atomic bomb, but they were listening to him when he was in his room.
Yeah.
But he trusted in him and that type of government so much that he was just blab-festing while he was in his room. And that's how Russia found out that the United States had an atomic bomb. And it's, you sit there and you watch a guy like Biden at the UN defending China. China!
Yep.
And gives whatever it is, $9 billion to Iran. It says, well, it was technically their money anyway.
$6 billion.
$6 billion. What's up, Jack?
Pat says thought about our military sent to Ukraine to fight against Russia.
What was that?
She says thoughts about our military being sent to Ukraine to fight against Russia.
I don't think we should be in that at all. I think we got to stop giving them money. I don't know where that money's going.
Well, you can't stop giving them money.
Why?
Because if they fail, the whole world's going to fail.
Yeah, but do you remember before the war?
That's
we didn't like that.
We have to, but I tell you, I think the United States won't be in that war as long as these politicians keep making money off of the weapons. And now I hear the Abrams 1 tank is going to be there soon. So if these politicians can continue to make their arms deals and steal money,
Might save our kids.
Because Mike, you talk about Ukraine being corrupt. These politicians, the only reason why there's an argument about this is because somebody's not in on what the rest of them are getting.
So as for boots on the ground, I don't think we'll see.
I hope not.
Military boots on the ground, with the exception of logistical people, trainers, and people that can train the Ukraine forces. But actual boots on the ground, I don't think that we'll see that.
Now, would you think it'd be smarter for them to do that training in Poland? It's close enough. And that way, God forbid, there is a break in it and he does start going towards Poland, we're there. Kind of kill two birds with one stone. But you know what? We're talking about a guy like Biden. This guy's out of his mind. He could do anything.
Well, if we keep on sending things to Ukraine too, if Russia takes over, it's like Afghanistan all over again. All our stuff is there.
Yeah, but Russia's losing right now. So
Yeah,
we can't let up.
That's not what I heard. I heard that the news is suppressing that.
On
That
both sides.
there's 300,000 dead and many injured
Well, there definitely is. But,
in Ukraine. How long can they take it back?
well, they're fighting for their life. Russia's not.
Russia might be taking their time too.
Well,
And
there's the question.
We're
Because
making up a lot of ground.
we were talking about that. Russia may be stalling this out long enough for China to get their
And
stuff squared
Iran.
away, But we don't know because we don't know. We have no sources. You got any sources?
I got Junior.
Yeah. Junior? I got
He
Mike.
just wants to be playing his phone.
And the thing about
I'm
Poland.
doing my work.
Oh!
The thing about Poland is you got to worry that if we're there, if Russia accidentally starts shooting missiles over there to Poland.
Well, they're not going to do. That's an act of war. Things don't happen by accident, and especially in today's times. So, if something like that happened, that's literally an act of war.
But wasn't there a missile in Poland already?
Yeah, but I don't know if that was.
There?
I don't know if that was founded or not. That was back and forth, and I don't remember, Mike, because. So I'm thinking, it might have been. They weren't sure which way it was going. It was just different things that were about that.
Russia, China, Iran.
Iran.
They're trying to pull us into a war.
Oh,
Yeah,
They are.
North Korea.
North Korea.
Well, North Korea and Russia were talking, weren't they?
Yep. They
Yeah.
want World War III.
Yeah.
For what reason?
That's what I'm saying. We have a powerful
New World Order.
military, but that's a lot of enemies.
Well,
I mean,
the rest of the world is against them too. Again, Mike, we're talking world war. So now you have your axis of evil, your allies. It's not us against the world. It's everybody against everybody. So, God forbid, prayers that it never happens. That somebody lucid and not paid and bought for, Biden's family gets out of here already, and we get somebody that can take care of the country.
Someone that cares about the country.
Yeah. That's true.
Because it's not Democrats or Republicans.
Nope.
You know. Like we said, I mean, the Republicans can't even come up with
12.
12 little committees come up with their little bills. Can't do it. Now we got to go. We're leaving. Shutting this down. We're going to go into our negotiating room again. I feel like it's Get Smart. You know that plastic thing that comes down and echoes and everybody can hear?
Except for them.
Yeah. Except for them.
Right.
It's an echo chamber. Everybody on the outside is like, can't they hear this? No, they can't.
So before I go into my topic, Curtis Silva, he ran for for mayor of New York City the last time around. Even he says there's an illegal invasion in New York City.
Well, it is.
A sanctuary city. So they welcome everybody. Now they hate migrants now.
You think he's going to be out there working again? He did a lot when he was younger in them streets when it was Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did good. So every week I talk about how our tyrants in Washington are destroying this country. And most people don't care. Politicians and the media have them brainwashed. Brainwashed.
Wash the brain.
Washing of the brain.
And several patriots out there are trying their best to save America. And we appreciate that very much. So instead of talking about negative issues, I want to talk about a few positive things. I want to talk about we the people. Each and every one of you deserve credit for going above and beyond what is expected of you. The last 3 years have been hell for most of America, but we're still here. We have done what we have needed to do to survive. Survive COVID. We're surviving Bidenomics, barely. Inflation, barely. Higher taxes, barely. And interest rates. And most important, we have survived our lame duck political idiots. That's my opinion. I'm sure other people agree with me. That we have elected.
That's the part that hurts.
Yep.
We elected him.
That guy who can't tie his shoe.
That is a huge
Elected by
accomplishment.
Pennsylvania.
That is a huge accomplishment, and you all need to be proud of yourselves for that. I know I am. You know, it's been tough when you are singled out just because you love America and disagree with someone. Why people hate America is beyond me. But that's their opinion. Even though I think they're morons, that's their opinion.
They're opinionated morons.
Yeah. You know, when the DOJ, Department of Justice, started investigating parents from school board meetings, trying to take away their right to speak, you stood united. You've attended rallies, and politicians have heard us, but still refuse to listen. We will vote them out. I have confidence in all of us. A lot of us have stopped listening to mainstream media and their lies, and for being the extension of this, I don't know, ridiculous government, clown government. Last year, 2022, 20% of Americans said they trusted the government and the politicians.
Wow.
20%. So 2 out of 10 of Americans trust this government. Those 8 people who don't trust this government, you're the patriots. You've gone out there and you've done things. You stood up for your rights. You stood up for other people's rights. It's pretty sad that politicians have this kind of a rating. We're standing up against people telling us half-truths, telling us lies. We're standing together against this corruption we see daily. Because all we see is politicians trying to divide America through race and fear.
Yeah, they love to do that.
Most of us don't believe the hype. 8 out of 10 of us don't. We have shown we can work and live next to any American citizen. We have stood up against woke ideology pushed by this government. Yes, companies like Budweiser and Disney have paid a huge price for cowering to this wokeness. All because of you. All because of us. Don't buy their products. Don't go to Disney. They're almost bankrupt, Budweiser. They're giving their beer away for practically nothing.
Except at the ball game.
Right.
Yeah.
You still got to pay for that.
I bought a Michelob there instead.
Because we the people are standing united. You know, I cannot deny that we that we don't have issues in this country, because we do. And we all need to work harder to fix them. We all do. Male, female, black, white, every ethnic group, everybody in this country needs to work together. And we will, by doing it together. It takes a team to win a war. And with patriots out there like you, fighting hard to keep America free, it will get done. Always remember that your opinion matters. Don't be afraid to tell people what you think. If they have a problem with you, debate them. If they want to debate you, move on to someone like-minded who hears what you say. Remember, folks, we cannot and will not help the brainwashed people out there, and believe me, there are many. We can't help them. I know we're all busy with work and kids in the mix. Our children are the ones that need it, and we need to do it for the most. They matter more than anything. I'll end with this. I am proud of everyone who has stood up to keep this country free. Stood up to politicians, local, state, and federal. Stood up to school board meetings. Spoke your piece. I am proud of each and every one of you. Honored to call you a friend. And standing united is when we will all win. So join us today. Jack?
You got something, Jack? You wasn't raising your hand?
No, I made a mistake.
You made a mistake. Okay.
You're fired.
Well, we could have did a lot of things today. We could have spoke about the UN, the mortgages that are coming out,
Why people are refinancing.
why people are refinancing.
More than people buying mortgages, you said.
Well, it was the number one number of the mortgages was refinancing. We could have went over that jet plane, our military, the invasion on the border. There's so many topics coming on.
Why we need to vote these politicians out.
But I figured the first one was to keep an eye out on how these guys are going to take your rights away, because then you're not going to be able to vote them out. Because it's going to be against the law to vote these people out. And there's going to be a lot of things that you can do today that you won't be able to do tomorrow. But, we didn't forget about the hearings with the Attorney General. We could have went through that. I think those hearings are a mockery, because for whatever side is on that guy's side, he answers the questions. The other side, they don't know. I mean, if you don't know that, then you're lying, and you should be prosecuted as a liar on court. You swore to tell the truth, and you're not telling the truth. So that's why I did that subject, and I think it was really important that Mike did his subject. That was a good subject, and it was really good to end on a high note with yours. But just the people out there, we know these subjects are there, but these were the ones we picked tonight.
We only have 45 minutes, and there's a lot of problems out there.
And we're going through them one or two at a time every week.
Yeah.
But I think people are tired of hearing all the negative shit that's out there. They hear it at work. They hear it at school. Family complaints. Children complain. They hear complaints every day. It's a negative world we live in. Especially with racial divide. I mean, our black community has a black national anthem. Who would ever thought that would happen? That's telling me they don't want to be Americans. They want to be separate from me. That's wrong. White people are not bad.
And who planted that in their minds?
Black people are not bad. Asian people are not bad. Hispanic people are not bad.
They're Americans.
They're Americans. We're all Americans. We all bleed red. And that's what we need to get back to. Of realizing your neighbor, person you work with, has got your back against everything out there. Because we're going to be hit with a lot of more negative stuff in the near future.
Get involved with your community, folks. Join a club.
Yep. Mikey, what are your thoughts about what I talked about?
Oh, I thought it was good to hear that 8 people out of 10 are sticking up for our rights. But it's funny because I was thinking about fake news. We got fake politicians. It's amazing.
Yeah, we got fake politicians make fake news.
Yeah, it's not the government that I say it's wicked and stuff. It's the people that are running the government right now are wicked. These people, they don't care about our rights. And we have to get them out. And if 8 out of 10 want them out, that'd be awesome.
That's
the only
insane.
problem with the country right now is people can't come together under one umbrella. They can't do away, well, I've got this plan. Well, I got this plan. Come together and make it one plan. Integrate whatever you have. Everybody's going. Most of us are going for the same thing. We're going for a constitutional republic. We want to get back to the basics of the Constitution. We want to throw these politicians out of office. You know you do. We all know you do. I do. Because we are the ones that created these monsters. We're the only ones that can fix it. So we got to do our part. And when we come together, that's when a huge message is going to be sent.
It's been done before.
Yep. Look at, January 6th. They knew about that before. But how many people ended up going to that? Hundreds of thousands? 100,000? What we need is a 10 million person march on Washington. You need 1 million people march at your state government doorstep. You have all those politicians lined up and start telling each one of them, you're this, you're that, you're no good, you're a piece of shit. Governor, you're an idiot. We want our country back. We want it back now. Do it or we're taking over. And we will win the war. So we're ready to wrap things up. Mike, you got anything?
Only start reading your Bibles as a family. Please.
Jack, anything?
No.
What do you mean no? You always have something to say.
Just remember, like and share.
That's good, Jack.
All right.
Like and share. All right.
Thank you for watching us. It's very much appreciated. Every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time is where you'll see us. We will be here every week trying to wake up America. We do it every day. Tell your friends to watch. I challenge you to read the United States Constitution as well as your state constitution. Because this governor in Texas just declared an invasion that he should have declared 3 years ago. Maybe longer. Do your research. Everything is a click away on the internet. But go to search engines that are for people and not politicians. A lot of these, like Yahoo, it's propaganda. And read both Democrat and Republican articles and make the best of it. The truth is out there somewhere. We just don't know where it is. Always remember, knowledge is power. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Is she going to do a prayer?
Oh yeah, hold on there, folks. We need Mike to do the prayer before we leave.
Psalms 145:8.
Jack's mad at me.
The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. See, there's some good news too. Let's pray. Please, Lord, bless and protect this new party, this podcast, and all that work on it and all that listen to it. Lord, please have mercy on this nation and have our leaders do your will. Oh Lord, how we wish we too were slow to anger. We confess we're too quick to say harsh words or hand out our very strong disapproval. If you treated us the way we sometimes treat others, we would be in big, deep trouble. How glad are we that compassion and graciousness are the hallmark of your attitude toward us. Help us to have that attitude toward others. Lord, take this anger from us and make us more like you. Increase the flow of mercy in our life. We want to be like you, Lord. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. So again, we'll see you next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll see you then, Patriots. Bye.
Good show.
Bye-bye.
Good show, guys.
Thanks.